Joining us now from Paris, White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Mr. Sullivan, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let me start briefly with this breaking news out of Lebanon, an attack on the U.S. Embassy near Beirut. What can you share with us about what you know?
Well, Savannah, we've been in real-time contact with Embassy Beirut. All American personnel at the embassy are safe and accounted for. One local Lebanese guard force member who was outside of the compound was wounded. He's receiving care now, and we're working closely with local authorities to ascertain what exactly happened here to ensure there's no continuing threat, and we'll do all that we need to do to protect our people.
Obviously, there's a conflict in the north that Israel has with Hezbollah and inside Lebanon, and that's just a piece of the larger puzzle here in the Middle East. Where do things stand on this potential ceasefire deal that was announced by the president on Friday? It was described as an Israeli proposal. Then it seemed like Bibi Netanyahu and other advisors backed off from it, kind of distanced themselves. Is it still a live proposal on the table for Hamas?
Yes, it is still a live proposal. It's still an Israeli proposal. Israel's a raucous democracy, so there's a lot of talk and a lot of chatter, but the Israeli government has reconfirmed repeatedly, as recently as today, that that proposal is still on the table, and now it's up to Hamas to accept it. And the whole world should call on Hamas to accept it. The G7 countries just put out a statement yesterday calling on Hamas to come to the table, do the deal, get the ceasefire, get the hostages home. That's what President Biden is focused on.
Well, let's talk about immigration, because the president, of course, yesterday announced that there is an executive action banning most asylum applications once illegal crossings hit that threshold of 2,500 a day. It went into effect at midnight. It gets you a big headline, a tough on the border headline. But immigration officials tell our reporters, analysts say that there's really no ability to carry this out beyond a certain level. They don't have the facilities, the money, the manpower to hold large numbers of migrants in detention or fund their deportations back to their home countries.
Well, first, we believe that this action the president took yesterday to bar migrants who enter unlawfully from seeking asylum will help our Border Patrol agents and our authorities manage the border in a more orderly and humane way. But, Savannah, you're right. At the end of the day, it is not a complete solution, because the only complete solution is one that includes the Congress stepping up on a bipartisan basis and providing the funding that President Biden has asked for more agents, more facilities, more capacity. And Congress is not acting on that, and it's not acting on that because Republicans in Congress refuse to put that bill on the floor and vote for it. The president has asked again, including in his speech yesterday, for that to happen. We'd like to see it happen, and we'd like to see it happen on a bipartisan basis as soon as possible to supplement what the president has done.
Well, why? Fair enough, but why did the president wait so long to address immigration? I mean, these border problems are not new. This is the final 6 months of his first term. Why wait?
Well, first of all, as the president said in his remarks yesterday, he's taken a series of actions at the border. And secondly, and this is critical, he put forward a comprehensive proposal to the Congress that actually the administration worked with Republicans on. That proposal was agreed to several months ago after painstaking negotiations. And then the very proposal that Republicans had agreed to, they decided not to vote for because the leader of their party...
Yeah, that's all true, Jake, but even that was just 6 months ago. The leader of their party turned around and said, don't vote for it. Fair enough. That's all true. But even that was just in December. I mean, the president has been in office since 2021. This immigration problem is not a new one.
Well, as I said, in his speech, he laid out a series of steps that he has taken at the border to increase capacity, to deal with Mexico and other countries, to reduce the flow, to try to get the numbers under control, to flow resources to our communities so that they can deal with the problem as well. But also, Savannah, I would just point out that one of your questions was, if he has to act on his own, his law enforcement and his Border Patrol agents don't have everything they need, which is why they need more resources from Congress. That required preparation and execution. That's what the president's been focused on since that border deal didn't come through, so that when he made his announcement yesterday, he made it after a period of intense preparation so that it could be an effective policy.
Well, you're getting criticism from the right that you expect. You're also getting it from the left. One Democratic congressman says the president has revived Trump's asylum ban. In denying asylum applications, isn't Biden doing precisely what he excoriated former President Trump for doing when he was in office?
Well, first, there's a major difference between what the president has done and what his predecessor did. His policy does not separate families, does not put kids in cages, does not ban people on the basis of religion.
But the denial of asylum applications.
President Trump did. And critically, it does not shut down asylum. What it does is say that if you come across the border illegally, you are barred from making an asylum claim. There are still lawful pathways to make asylum claims in this country in an orderly and humane way. And the president has gone further than any president in generating those lawful pathways so that people looking to come here to this country with a legitimate claim to come here can do so effectively. So it is night and day, the difference between the policies of this administration and the last one. But the president is not going to shirk from stepping up to take enforcement action that he believes is necessary to ensure order at the border.
White House National Security Advisor, a lot on your plate. As always, Jake Sullivan, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.